In today's video, I want to explain why this particular week matters so much, break down the Crypto Clarity Act in simple terms, and share my honest thoughts on what all of this means, especially for assets like XRP that many believe already operate with a level of clarity others don't. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we'll talk about XRP. So be sure to stay focused as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. There's a lot of noise out there right now. Some people are arguing that the US is already too late when it comes to crypto regulation. Others are saying the government is stripping power away from crypto-native companies and quietly handing it back to traditional banks, especially with new discussions around stablecoin yields and who should be allowed to earn them. Instead of chasing every headline, I want to focus on the bigger picture, what this legislation actually represents and why it matters far beyond a single bill. To really understand why this moment is so important, I think it helps to step back and look at how we got here. About a year ago, toward the very end of 2024, the United States had a completely different posture toward cryptocurrency. Back then, the lack of clarity wasn't an accident. It was intentional. Influential figures, including Gary Gensler, openly pushed the idea that crypto didn't need clarity. The strategy was simple. Keep the rules vague, slow down innovation, and discourage adoption. The goal wasn't to guide the industry, it was to suffocate it. At that time, many people believed the US was making a huge mistake. The common argument was that America would miss the next technological revolution, that innovative crypto companies would pack up and move overseas, and that the country would fall behind while the rest of the world moved forward. Interestingly, I never fully bought into the fear. Not because I underestimated the risk, but because I believed the innovation itself was too powerful to ignore. What cryptocurrency brings to the table isn't just a new asset class or a speculative market. It represents a fundamental upgrade to how value moves across the world. That kind of transformation doesn't wait for permission forever. It's comparable to the birth of the internet itself. Imagine if, in the early days, the United States had said, "We're not sure about the internet, so we're just not going to participate." In hindsight, that sounds ridiculous, because there was never really a choice. Participation was inevitable. I've always felt the same way about crypto. You can delay it, criticize it, or try to regulate it out of existence, but you can't stop it. This technology is a building block in the evolution of how humans interact with value. Just like we moved from fax machines to instant messaging, we're now moving from slow analog value transfer to instant digital value transmission. That shift was always going to happen. A year ago, it genuinely looked like the United States was determined to stand in its own way. Fast forward to today, and we're now talking about which weak crypto clarity legislation might pass. That alone should tell you how quickly narratives can flip. Change often feels impossible for a long time, and then it happens all at once. Once something like this is set in motion, it can't be undone. When the internet finally received regulatory clarity, what followed was the largest explosion of value the world has ever seen. People once believed no company would ever surpass the oil giants. Today, the largest companies on Earth are internet-driven platforms. Data became the new oil. And now we're watching something similar unfold with cryptocurrencies. Crypto does for value what the internet did for information. And if the internet of information was that valuable, imagine the potential of an internet of value. That's why this moment, this regulatory turning point, is so important. The second the US officially gives crypto a clear framework to operate within, innovation doesn't just accelerate, it erupts. I know some people are frustrated that the Clarity Act hasn't passed yet. They worry that delays put the bull market at risk or that the US could still miss its chance. But here's the honest truth. Back in 2024, I didn't think we'd see real clarity for another 5 to 10 years. Everything at the time suggested endless delays and protection of entrenched financial interests. Now, just 1 year later, we're having serious conversations about finalizing legislation. That's an astonishing acceleration of timelines. Whether this happens this year, next year, or slightly later doesn't change the significance. Any meaningful crypto clarity under the current political environment is a massive win for the market. From where things stand now, it looks increasingly likely that this moves forward soon. There's clear momentum. Yes, timelines have shifted from hopes in 2025 to expectations in 2026, but the direction is undeniable. And once this passes, the genie is out of the bottle. What follows will likely mirror the adoption curve of the internet, only faster and potentially larger in scale. Just as internet companies eventually eclipsed oil companies, I believe crypto networks will surpass today's largest financial institutions. Multi-trillion-dollar valuations may sound extreme now, but so did trillion-dollar tech companies decades ago. When you really think about it, a global permissionless value network could be worth far more than systems built only to move information. That's why debates over labels, commodity, security, cryptocurrency don't really matter in the long run. Call XRP whatever you want. Its utility, network, and role don't change because of a definition on paper. Much of what we're seeing right now is simply end-stage infighting over details that won't alter the final outcome. Once lawmakers settle who earns yield, how assets are categorized, and which agency oversees what, we cross into one of the most transformative periods in financial history. This marks the shift from analog value systems to fully digital ones, an upgrade the financial world hasn't seen in over a century. That's also why I don't obsess over every draft or rumor. The real story isn't about which line ends up where in the bill. The real story is the scale of what comes after. In the next 6 to 12 months, the U.S. is likely to establish clear crypto legislation, and that decision will ripple through every major financial institution on the planet. This isn't a niche experiment anymore. The biggest players in finance are already signaling that they see what's coming. And now, for the first time, the U.S. government is giving this transformation a green light. Whether it happens this week, next week, or a year from now, the destination doesn't change. This moment represents one of the most important milestones in crypto history. And in my view, it's the clearest signal yet that mass institutional adoption is no longer a question of if, but when. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching.